So I'd love to just go around and let each of you kind of introduce yourselves and take a couple of minutes to explain how you got interested in this story, maybe methods of digging or anything interesting you found. And just sort of let each of you give you a few minutes to kind of talk and let people know who you are. And let's start with Christina Radix Verum. And maybe you could explain what Radix Verum mean. Is that Latin?
Yes, it's Latin for the root of truth, which I just thought sounded really cool. I research a lot of different things. I'm sort of like an independent journalist. I cover politics, whatever's interesting to me. I'm working on a documentary right now on the Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot case. So that's taking up a lot of my time. But I also have covered things like Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking ring and the intelligence apparatus that was in the background there. And I don't remember how I came across the Eliza Bleu thing. I think I was just like checking Twitter one day, and I believe I saw Brittany's tweet where she had Defango's thread about Eliza. And I had followed Eliza before because she was like somehow connected to the Jeffrey Epstein thing. So I guess I had followed her and I didn't really know much about her. I just saw some of her tweets and I agreed with like what she said. So I just followed her. And then I looked at that thread and I was like, wow, who is this person? And the more I started kind of researching her background and just looking at that stuff, I was like, whoa, this person's like a freaking chameleon. And it's really weird. And I kind of like in my mind was like, wow, she reminds me of this other person that I have been researching, Kirby Sommers, who I guess is another like Jeffrey Epstein researcher, or she's written some books on it. I know that she's on Twitter and stuff, but she claims to be like a survivor of trafficking also, but there were questionable things in her background as well. So that's sort of how I got into looking into her more. And then my first video, she had taken down. She flagged for a privacy complaint or whatever. So I have I guess it's like a community guidelines violation. It's not a strike. I didn't get a strike on my channel, but they wouldn't let me appeal it. So I've gotten these before or similar things that you can go appeal or whatever. But with the Eliza Bleu privacy complaint, there's a thing that says like to appeal this, click here. I click it and it says like that I'm not able to do it. So I was like, wow, she obviously has connections pretty high up at big tech if she's able to get people censored, not just off of Twitter, but on YouTube as well. And I'd like to have my video restored, so I guess that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's really nuts. I had like what, 4 videos taken down for privacy claims, and I think we've tried appealing with no success. So it's frustrating. I think some of us have had varying levels of success with getting our videos reinstated. And it's just frustrating that someone with a lot of power is allowed to sort of bend the rules of Twitter because of who they know, or who knows who they've blown? Who knows? I'm gonna go to Arthemesia. Fuck, I'm never gonna say this right. Arthemesia?
Yes.
Arthemesia? Okay, please introduce yourself to the lovely people and how you got into following this story.
Well, hi, I'm Arthemesia or Arthemesia, however you want to pronounce it. I don't even know that I pronounce it half the time correctly. Uh, yeah, well, I ended up actually following Eliza Bleu simply because of the last Timcast episode that he had her on around Christmas time, I believe it was. And
Yeah, I think it was January 6th or 7th.
oh, was it January 6th or 7th when he had her on?
That was the
So,
most recent time, but she was on at least 1 or 2 more times before that.
okay, yeah, it was the most recent time that I ended up being really suspicious of her, and I was going to end up actually doing a video just over her very first statement that she had made on Timcast. Whenever I found it weird because she had already gotten a hold of the Andrew Tate victims and whatnot. I was just suspicious immediately that of all people they would find her that quickly because I didn't even really know who she was at all, and with how small of a following she actually turned out to have, it just was weird to me. And the weirdest thing about it was the very first quote she read which was coming from a victim. She said, in her own words, if this helps prevent people from becoming an alleged victim. And I was like, why would a victim ever say
Hmm.
that? That's weird. If I was a victim and I knew this happened to me, I'd be telling people, no, this happened to me, not allegedly happened to me, or
Interesting.
anybody else. So yeah, there was a lot of different things in that statement, in her statements, things along the lines of, I believe every single victim who comes to me and stuff like that. And I was just getting these SJW vibes. I ended up not doing the video because I ended up kind of thinking, well, maybe I'm just being nitpicky and mean. And then the very next week, I see Brittany Venti was banned on Twitter, and that that was weird to me because the first rumors I had heard was that Brittany shared some leaked screenshots of Eliza. That turned out to be completely untrue. It turned out to be from a music video, which was public, and of course was public for how long? A week, up to a week after she got banned,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, so it was just that's exactly how I started off with it, pretty much exactly.
Yeah, just being kind of suspect, and I rewatched that episode, her last Timcast appearance, and the chat was on fire with skepticism even then, before any of this stuff came through with Brittany. It's interesting to see the comments and people are going, yeah, because I agree with you. Like, why would you say I'm an alleged victim?
Exactly. It was very, very suspicious to me when I saw that. I was like, that's just such weird language because if I'm a victim, I'm a victim. I'm not an alleged victim. I don't think other people are going to be alleged victims. I think they would be victims. Um, so immediately it was raising alarm bells, and I started following her and seeing where she was coming from and trying to find her past work, which was also a big, how would I put it? Uh, a huge mess. I couldn't really find anything, to be honest, any evidence that she had been doing anything for anybody.
Yeah,
So it just kind of, just looking into her, nothing was making sense about her.
yeah. I agree. Okay, Greg Hoyt. I definitely am familiar with you, Greg Hoyt. I think you've been on just about every Twitter space that I was in about this Eliza issue, but let people know who you are, a little bit about your background, and how you got interested in following the story.
Yeah, my name's Greg Hoyt. I'm a recently unemployed journalist. I was working for Red Voice Media up until approximately January 30th. Prior to that, I worked with Law Enforcement Today, pro cop publication for a couple of years. But now I currently do the breakdown with Greg Hoyt on YouTube, which is going good. It's going good. Uh, that being said, the way I got into this is actually kind of funny. I don't know if y'all are familiar with one person who frequented the Twitter Spaces. This gal by the name of LG. At least that was the screen name she used on Twitter. Uh, I don't even remember how I started to follow Eliza Bleu on Twitter initially, but nonetheless, I did. And I saw like one of LG's comments where she was demanding that Eliza Bleu come on her podcast and like being really weird. And I was
Hmm.
completely oblivious to the growing suspicion around her at this time. And this probably would have been around the 24th, 25th of January, something like that. So I kind of clapped back at LG, like making fun of her. I'm like, yeah, like I snarkily replied, like, that's really how you get somebody to come on your podcast, bitch at them. But then LG kind of pressured me to look into this lady. And like I'm an old school beatard, so finding out information about people that they typically don't want found, that's one of my specialties. So when I started digging into this woman's background and finding all the stuff about, Eliza Seep, Eliza Knows, Eliza Cuts, all that stuff, and seeing everything, that encompassed the MySpace and Tumblr drama, and then hearing a myriad of her contradictory statements based upon the recitations of her alleged trafficking experience. Because in some cases, she says it started when she was 16, other cases, she says it started when she was 17, then other cases, it was when she was 18. The timelines were all over the place, and that's really what just kind of piqued my interest, and I found it really intriguing that somebody could have this number of instances where they just not just kind of like changed their personality a bit, but completely rebranded her entire persona, going from the alt rock emo phase to I don't even know what you would call that, like the black scent girl from Chicago type of thing. And then all of a sudden now she's like getting featured on the freaking Epic Times and Daily Wire with a much more just even the code switching was off the rails. It really blew my mind. And so that's really what got me into it.
Yeah. It was very suspect to discover all her different personalities, and just from knowing a lot of people in the entertainment industry, I'm like, okay, I've never seen anybody with more than one stage name. And I'm like, this girl seemed to have a different last name every couple of years and with a completely different personality. So very suspect indeed. Let's go to Elle or Lauren. I'm not sure what you prefer, but Anne, I know Lauren, you got some new tea, some new info for us. I don't know if you want to share that now, or just take a couple minutes and explain to everybody who you are and how you got into this story.
Well, I barely can contain myself right now, but no, I'm saying like. I was like messaging Frank. I was like, I'm hurrying, but like I was doing some like last minute kind of just putting together basically what we were doing right now, introducing ourselves and kind of talking about what we did. Because I call it kind of having like a touch of the tism. I don't really care about a lot of drama. I don't care. But what drew me to this was the constant rifts and kind of schisms and within the community, and or just like painting with a broad brush, but like the kind of conservative or just even just people who make sense most of the time area of the internet. And it really started to bother me how many people were at each other's throats over Eliza Bleu. And I have my own personal example as I went after Mersh from Revenge of the Sis, because he was going after Eliza really early on when no one else was, and I like chewed him out on the internet, and so like I had to kind of realize that I was kind of falling for whatever it was, and I don't like that, and I don't like being misled. And so I came into the whole digging thing late. I went on to Kiwi Farms because that's what one does, and then just kind of started doing my own additional and kind of supplemental digging. So it's not something that necessarily would usually interest me, but I kind of do this thing where once I sink my teeth into something, I really can't let it go. So here we are. Also, hi Radix.
Hi.
Lastly, but not leastly, we have TBYS, Think Before You Sleep, also known as Shawn. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into covering this story.
Oh crap, it's like my turn to talk now.
It's your turn.
Everybody's like so professional. I don't know, I got a message. I said from Brittany, I said, hey, you should probably tell everybody about this. And that's when a lot of things started. I think everybody's already pretty much summarized everything. I just want to see where it all goes. Like I'm watching this basically like one of those movies that doesn't reveal everything until like the end, or just like slowly starts throwing things out. And I really want to know how she's getting so many people to defend her. That's kind of the mystery here, is like, why aren't people just running from this like crazy? So, and also the other entertaining part to me is like how people who are obviously not dedicated enough to build the talent to be successful in entertainment still kind of make it. There are a lot of people who have way more success than they should, and Eliza seems to be one of them. I'm kind of curious on how the grift for that works. So again, I'm just watching it like a movie.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.